Good morning. It's December 30th, and I'm Vince with Dead on Board Gaming, and we're just here to talk a little bit about some flesh and blood news, I guess. I'm a little late to the action, but I wanted to start doing this a couple days a week, maybe. Um, so basically, I just wanted to talk about how Unlimited. Excuse me. Basically, I want to talk about how Unlimited is being bought out, and how I am very for the secondary market. I am in all games. I think it's an important aspect of every game, but buying it up to the point that the cheap part of the game that's made for players is becoming, I'm going to call it inaccessible, but it's not inaccessible. It's temporarily inaccessible, right? So what it is supply and demand in this immediate pocket, because Unlimited is still being printed. It's not even close to done being printed, considering that they're in the middle of a global rollout. Products getting printed. The company was, I believe, Legends Story. This is like their first game out. Correct me if I'm wrong. Definitely let me know. But I think this is their first game out. They put a lot of time and effort into this game. They know what they're doing. The problem is once it left New Zealand, it blew up. It caught fire. So there's a lot of decision points here, because they have to decide, do they think this is just general hype and that they don't need to full steam ahead their printing, because you know what I mean, that falls off and the company takes a hit also if, let's just say, this loses steam. I don't think that's a thing, because the game's phenomenal, the art's phenomenal, the lore I hear is phenomenal. I haven't got into it yet. Maybe we'll do that together too. I don't think the game can fail. I mean, it's investors, I believe for sure, are like the reason this is happening, but that's only because they believe in the game. But during a global pandemic, that's probably the reason this game's going to take off or be around after the pandemic, is because of the investors. So I know there's a lot of people that think it's wrong that people are over here buying up cases, but like, that's the game. That's the card market, man. And until they decide that they're not going to single print first edition boxes, that's the game of this game. And like, I think it's brilliant. It's a little annoying that it's going to get, scooped up like this. But there's LGSs we don't know of that are going to have it. People are going to keep signing up, and the product's going to get printed more and more and more. Especially on limited, and because it's not a set time. It's not like, hey, we're going to print it for a year. They basically said, we're going to print it until there's not enough demand to print it anymore, and then it'll be out of print. I'm assuming that's going to be another year, maybe two, just because, and again, that's just because the game's rolling out. If this game was 5 years old, I don't think that window's as big. I think first editions continue to be underprinted, but that's by design, because they want collectability. And the fact that, and I heard they're changing the card code, so now there'll be differences, but the fact that the cards are functionally exactly the same, and all you're really chasing is the cold foil premium chase cards of the set. And the fact that Legend Story Studios, like, we don't care if it costs $6,000, because the card's not broken. You know what I mean? The legendaries are a little different, because they're kind of needed to be competitive. But again, that's just to be competitive. The decks are all competitive without it, at least in my opinion. I haven't got a ton of play in, but I follow the game very closely because I'm in love with it. And I got to be honest, I'm in love with this game. Oh no. Oh no, my brain. My brain just went away. So anyways, I guess I'll just continue on. Oh, so yeah, they're not worried about the money being, or the cards being worth a bunch of money, because they're not broken, except for the legendaries, which I'm about to get into. The legendaries, are necessary, but they're necessary as one-ofs for every class. So every class has a one-of. I'm okay with that card costing, above $100, no matter how you do it. First, they're super rare. Second, they're meant to be super rare. Third, you only need one of it. So the fact that to play it is a single investment instead of $600 across 3 cards or something like that, I think is sweet. I also think they will eventually print just non-foil versions of these cards that'll continue to bring them down, and then rainbow foils will have a premium, cold foils will have a premium. This is what I think they're doing. They're gonna give all the main cards, like the board state itself, I think are all gonna have multiple premium versions down to the non-foil versions. Even the legendaries, which I believe first only came in cold foil. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you can get rainbow foils of those in alpha. And then rainbow foils in the unlimited set, and then when they get reprinted again, I'm gonna guess they're not gonna have a foil edition. So next on there, I'd like to talk about the Blitz decks. We don't know much about anything, but the fact that they're coming out with Monarch, and I'm wondering what you guys think about that. I believe it's great, and they should do that once a year. I think that, again, these are decisions that right now I think they're on point about. And they have to not fold to public scrutiny, because if you pay attention to Magic at all people do is scrutinize, scrutinize, scrutinize. Now, I do think that, Wizards is a little greedy and kind of doing things the wrong way. But when you get nothing but negative feedback for year after year after year, do you really keep caring about what, the loud people on the internet do? I don't think so. So anyways, I don't know what the Blitz decks are going to be. I'm assuming, at least this is what they should be, is they should be the hero specific to Monarch, or class specific, however that's broken down. I'm assuming Monarch's not going to have all 8 sets or classes. I also wonder, are they going to add sets? I do believe 10, or not sets, classes, I'm sorry. Classes. I do believe 10 classes is probably the sweet spot for the game. Maybe it's 8, but 10 classes. I mean, there's Warlock. I mean, there's so many. They can come out with so many. This game's infinite. You're right. It's just infinite. So I guess I'm gonna pose that question with you guys. What do you guys think are gonna be in the Blitz decks? They're gonna be a starter deck. What do you think the cost point should be? I think they should be about $15 to $20. I think $20 is probably solid for out of the case workable deck, as long as it's good. Doesn't have to be broken. Not that anything I think is broken in the game, but it doesn't have to have legendaries and stuff. But throw a couple mythics in there, maybe 2 mythics, 1 mythic. Throw 1 mythic in there to let the player understand this is the powerful part of your deck. Couple rares, and just a functioning hey, we can go to what are they called? You know what? I don't know what the duels are called in Flesh and Blood. I guess I should figure that out. But yeah, let me know below. I appreciate you guys. Again, this is Vince with Dead on Board Gaming, and I hope to talk to you guys again.